Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about people putting limitations on themselves because of age. And this isn't necessarily going to be age-related. It's any limitations that we put on ourselves. But recently I have noticed people that are retirement age and beyond that have a tendency to let their talking be mostly age-related. But I'm here to tell you that every decade, every year of our life is a new chapter. And even at our advanced age, it doesn't mean we aren't going to have a new chapter of our life. But as I said, this doesn't just apply to age. This can apply to anybody who puts a limitation on themselves, whether it be from injury or whatever the situation is that you feel prevents you from advancing in this life, from basically starting a new chapter. Regardless if it's advanced aging or limitations of any sort, when you talk to certain people, it feels almost like there's a hopelessness. There's a sense of giving up and a sense that, oh, well, these are my end years, so I'm just going to take it easy. But the truth is, I feel like these people are bored and they need something to do, something to look forward to. I think we all do. I know in younger years, we fight thinking that, oh, if I had time, I could do this and that. But I'm here to tell you, when you have that time, you can only get so many manicures, go to so many lunches before you're bored. I think we're built and designed to where we want to advance, to where we want to have something to look forward to. And just because you're getting older, maybe you aren't as mobile as you once were, but that's not a problem. Particularly in this day and age of technology. I mean, we can literally sit in our chair and communicate all over the world within seconds. And that's something to be very excited about. In reality, the truth is, none of us knows how much longer we have here on this earth. But because we are here on this earth, we should make the most of it at any age. I remember when I was in my 30s, I went to the orthodontist and he said, well, as we get older, and I thought my last decade, I was too young. Now this decade, as we get older. And it's like, are we ever satisfied? Are we ever living in the moment as to where we are right now? Unfortunately, so many times we look behind us. We think, boy, that was a good decade. Remember when I did this and that? Where everything should be a good decade. And I'm going to go back to technology. If you are feeling like you have aged out, technology has come so far, and I know it's scary if you're not familiar with it. But that in itself could be a goal when you're sitting to learn it, to dabble in it, to take baby steps. Because, as I said earlier, technology could open a whole new world for you. I know a lot of us are stationary or have to sit still, or we just don't have the stamina that we used to have or whatever. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. Because if you choose to go the technical route, because it doesn't take a lot of physical effort. I myself, for example, is probably busier than I have ever been, and a lot of it is because of technology. I know people who are just kind of drifting from day to day, look at me with sympathetic eyes and say, how are you? But to tell you the truth, I think I'm busier now than I've ever been in my whole life. But I'm telling you, it's just at our fingertips. So if you're finding yourself feeling like you have limitations, I would highly recommend that you start thinking, praying, and meditating on what you want to do, what you want your next chapter to look like. Because of where you are right now, maybe you're not as physical as you used to be. You do have to make adjustments to whatever you choose. But then when you think about it, your entire life, chapter after chapter, you've had to make adjustments for whatever reasons, whether they were physically, mentally, emotionally, or financially. We have made adjustments throughout our whole life. And no matter what age we're at, it doesn't matter. This is a new chapter. It's not a time to give up. With everything at our fingertips these days, there is no reason why anybody should be sitting around unless they choose to. And I'm using the word sitting around figuratively because I know that a lot of this technical work, of course, is sitting. We can make this chapter in our life, regardless of what age we are, regardless of what limitations that we may have. We can make it an exciting chapter, and I'm excited for it. I could name off things for people to start looking into. I could give you a big list, like writing a book, for example. But it's not for me to say. It's for you to pray about it, to meditate about it, to really think about what you would like to do. And from there, pursue it. Start looking into it. Go on Google, get ideas. There's so much more to everything. We live in a limitless world. It seems that it's more so now than ever, and it's so exciting. Each and every one of us has a lot to share. Especially, I think, in most cases, the longer you've lived, the more you have to share. I know I've talked before about, it was a song actually, where when you're moving upward and forward, you reach out and grab the hand behind you. So what I think they're trying to say is that all the lessons you've learned, they weren't for nothing. You can share what you've learned, whether it be verbally or in a book or whatever way. Everything that has taken you thus far, you could share with people. Everybody is valuable, and nobody has had the same experiences that you have had. One good example that I heard recently is that there was a young actor who was doing a film with Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood has been around, very popular for decades. And he mentioned something that he learned from him. And that's something that only comes from years of experience that Clint Eastwood was able to pass down to this other young actor. And he shared it basically with the world via internet. And it made an impact on me as to what he said as well. So we all have something to give. We're all valuable. And we all can start a new chapter and still make life very, very exciting. Your life doesn't have to evolve around limitations. We always have had limitations. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it's the truth when you think about it. And for some reason, people seem to imply that those limitations just came on suddenly at a certain age. But when you think about it, there was always limitations regardless of what form they've come in. And it's learning to make adjustments and change and work around those limitations. This is another new chapter. You've never been this age before. You have volumes and volumes of experiences. And these experiences can be shared, or at the very least, the lessons you learn from them can be shared. It is never too late. There is always a new chapter. Nobody ever said age is a limitation. You can still do whatever you want. I know aches, pains, whatever, is a reality. I get that. But think about it. They're going to be there whether you're enjoying your life and having fun or if you're just sitting there focusing on it. And if you're having fun, if you're feeling good, I think that is the best medicine. You know that old saying, laughter is the best medicine? I believe that. All our lives, we go through chapter after chapter. But at a certain age, you start to view this chapter as the end. And that is seriously not the case. It is just the beginning of a whole new chapter. It's a matter of deciding what you want to do, how you view your life, and what you want your life to look like. I'm not criticizing whoever wants to do this because everybody has a right to do what they want to do. But on social media, for example, there is meme after meme of age-related jokes, age-related scenarios. And that's what I'm talking about. People are focusing on age. I mean, maybe they're using a funny meme to do it, but nevertheless, it keeps reinforcing that limitation. So I want you to look at things in a different direction, that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of a new chapter. And regardless of what limitations you're dealing with, whether they're physical, financial, emotional, whatever it is, that you just need to make adjustments to what you're going to be doing or what you want to be doing. And if you don't know how to start, again, we'll get back to technology. You can look up anything and learn how to do it. And the learning process is part of the chapter. The learning process is part of the fun. I know at a younger age, think about what you want to do with your life, and you start that learning process. And it is a challenge, and you are doing it. And hopefully you actually end up doing what you've worked at, and you enjoy it. But then there comes a point in time where it's time to step out of that position and into one that's more suitable for you right now. And that's what this is all about, is finding what's suitable for you right now and pursuing it. And I want you to get excited about it. It is very exciting. It's very exciting at any age with any limitation. You just need to figure out what interests you right now at this time in your life. And when we talk about obstacles, that's just part of life. And we have overcome every one of those. Either we've overcome them or we've been redirected. But regardless, it all adds up to and brought us to where we are right now. So when you find what interests you, what makes you happy, what you would like to pursue, you need to just make adjustments with it to fit what you're capable of doing right now. Just because our age is changing, and which it's going to do for everybody. What's that saying? Time waits for no man. But we should still always remain happy. I mean, we've been blessed with days on this earth, and so let's make the most of them. Think about what makes you smile, what makes your heart feel full. It doesn't mean you need to put the brakes on now. It doesn't mean you have to stop living just because you've reached a different season in your life. And always continue to give gratitude for where you're at right now, for each blessing, each thing that comes to you every day. And by giving gratitude, it means you're living your life abundantly. It means you're so grateful for what you have right now. Regardless of where you are in life, it is a new beginning. And it's so exciting when you think about it. My friend often tells me that she watches cooking shows about these women in other states that have set up their cameras and cook and talk, and she loves to watch it. I mean, that's just one thing that was not even an option. It seems like not that long ago. I mean, that's just one thing that we can think about that's enticing. But it doesn't have to be in the form of entertainment, putting yourself out there. It's whatever makes you happy, whatever puts a smile on your face. And if sitting in the recliner watching TV makes you happy, by all means do that. But please don't do it because you think this is where you need to be, this is where you're supposed to be right now, because it's not. It's a new beginning at a new age, at a new chapter. To sum it up, you need to think about what you want to do, pray, meditate, and then start looking into it. And if it involves technology, you may have a lot of technical wisdom, but if you don't, you can certainly learn. It takes time, but that's what life is, and it offers you time to do all these things. Basically, it's regrouping. It's regrouping from what you did to where you are now, to what you need to do to fulfill the desires that you have for this time in your life. But when you really think about it, everything you've gone through, everything that made you you, every lesson you've learned, every hardship, every happy moment wasn't for nothing. It wasn't to get older and just sit there and give up hope. No, you're a wealth of information now. And that can enlighten somebody else. Somebody else may need to hear the information that you have in one form or another, or you can use it yourself. It's interesting, even if people don't seem like they want to hear your stories right now, because at this particular age, it doesn't mean a lot to them. They later think about what you said. I can't tell you how many times people will say, oh, so-and-so said this, and I didn't know what they meant at the time, but I get it now. And it's unfortunate that sometimes the person who given that information, it never gets the satisfaction of knowing that it helped this person. But the truth is, just know that it does and it will. Even if you're not getting the warmest reception at that moment. I'm sure teachers feel that way every day. Kids, later, they remember something that teacher said that was life-changing to them. And we are all in that position to be that person, to be that teacher, based on everything we've gone through, everything we've learned. So you are carrying with you a wealth of information. The longer you've lived, the more lessons you've had. If that is something that you feel like you want to do, pray and meditate the best way to get your experiences out there, because you just never know who you're going to touch. Keep in mind and remember, we are never too old. I don't even like that word old. As long as we're alive, we're constantly climbing the ladder. We're constantly reaching new goals. We're constantly entering into a new chapter. So don't stop now, regardless of what age you are, regardless of what limitations you feel like you have. Get excited. Start your chapter. Don't sit there unless you choose to, but I recommend don't sit there. Turn over this new page in your life and start becoming the person that you were always meant to be. What it is basically is a new beginning, and it's really exciting. So again, regardless of your age, regardless of your limitations, get so excited about this new beginning. And to tell you the truth, I'm excited for you. I have a level of excitement in myself right now. And I'm going to tell you this story because I've shared it. I hope it's not redundant. But even this podcast, when I had my own limitations, and I thought, now what am I going to do? I was used to being on the go a lot. And I asked a friend of mine, what do you think I should do with my time now? And they said, well, why don't you start a podcast? He said, you have all the equipment. And I did, because I used to be dabbling in voiceover. So I didn't really even know how to get started. To be honest with you, I never even listened to a podcast. So I wasn't sure how you went about it. So I started Googling, one thing led to another. And as it turns out, this has been wonderful. I love sharing with you. I love sharing my experiences. I love sharing what I've learned. I love sharing what messages I feel to give to you. There will always be people around you who form their own opinions, thinking you should be doing this, but don't let that affect you in any way, shape, or form. This is about you and only you, and basically you and your source. And when you pray about it, you'll know that this is for you, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. But we're living in a time when we can do so much without leaving our house. Actually, there's so much you can do without even leaving your chair, your bedroom, your bed, whatever the case may be. Just because you're in a position where you can't get out like you used to doesn't mean it's the end. We can still be whatever we want to be in some way, shape, or form. Remember, this is just the beginning. This is a new chapter in your life. And with all that we have at our fingertips, right from our own homes, the world can open up for us. And I am so excited for you. God bless you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.